Texas. They say everything's bigger here, and they're right. We've got big cars, big hearts, and even bigger steaks. This is beef country, Texas, home to the Alamo, the Cowboys, and the largest military installation known to man. So big, it has a big name. Fort Hood, the great place. It's got a Texas-sized podcast as well. And this is it, right here, Fort Hood's great big podcast. Yeehaw.
Hello.
We're back.
You always say we're back. This is...
Oh, really?
We are. We've just started and I've already lost the plot.
Oh, no.
This is a good barometer for the... And Dave is...
What are you going to do?
This is
I
what we're...
mean-
I don't know. We've got an exciting show today, folks.
We do.
Yeah. That's what happens sometimes. You
It's
still-
August and it's hot and it's
Yeah.
Texas.
Well, it's supposed to be. You know, Animal
Mhm.
Crossing told me that August is some month.
Huh?
the fireworks?
No, the apex of summer. This is
Okay.
it.
Oh, yeah. The hottest.
This is it. Yes.
Mhm.
Well, that's why, everybody that doesn't water their lawn,
Mm-hmm.
including Fort Hood, now the grass is brown.
Mhm.
Yep. Brown.
Yep.
So if you think it's hot, it's going to get hot.
You know, I tell my wife that moving here from Japan,
Mm-hmm.
she'd be like, "Oh, it's so hot," and I'd say, "If you think this
It's
is hot,
hot, yeah.
just wait."
This ain't nothing.
And even when it's like at the highest, they say, "Oh, it is so hot." If you think this is hot, just wait. Even though it's going to get cooler.
Yeah, it's going to be cooler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'll still get triple digits in September here, though.
Yeah, that's true. We still.
First couple weeks of school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I miss snow.
I don't.
I don't.
You don't?
No.
I do not.
Snow.
I hate snow.
I came up with a theory, having been in Minnesota for a very long time.
Yeah.
Right? 20 odd years or something.
Uh-huh.
More than that. I don't know. But so in Minnesota, at a certain point, like fall is very brief. And then it just boom, snow, and it's going to stick there until April, sometimes May.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And it's miserable. It gets miserable cold. The snow is just piled everywhere. It gets so cold that for parking downtown in the Twin Cities, it's all heated and underground.
Right.
So, and then the buildings are connected with walkways, so it's like one of those little hamster things.
Sure.
The whole downtown is like one of those hamster cities where you're scurrying from one building to another. It is my contention that this awful, awful weather that everyone must go through brings people together. It gives you a common enemy to fight against. Winter.
No, thanks.
Yeah, no.
No? No, you're not sold on
My
fighting?
common
Now,
enemy
you know what?
is-
Everybody sees the postcard of the beautiful white blanket over the countryside and blah, blah, blah. I grew up in Milwaukee. It's a city of almost 1 million people,
Mm-hmm.
similar in size to the Twin Cities.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I'm sorry, snowbanks turn into yuck.
Yeah, they do.
And downtown Milwaukee, is not pretty when it's covered in snow.
Is downtown
It's
Milwaukee
dirty.
pretty when it's not covered in snow?
Yeah.
All right. just
Yeah.
checking.
Summertime is great.
Just checking it is Milwaukee.
Yeah. Summertime's okay. Wintertime, yuck.
I don't know. I find there's something just romantic about the misery of it. When I was young, poor, and stupid, as
When?
opposed to old, poor, and stupid. No, I can remember. No, we're talking like serious no money issues. I had a series of cars with no heater
Right.
in downtown Minneapolis when I lived
my
there.
gosh.
So in the height of the winter, I would be driving on the highway, no heater in the car, but it switched to heat anyway because the wind blowing through the car is going to create a little amount of heat.
Right.
Put on defrost, one hand on the steering wheel, one hand with an ice scraper in my hand, scraping ice off the inside of the car so I could see barreling down the road at 75 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That was life for Charlie in the winter. Common enemy.
That is so dangerous.
And you missed that.
yeah, exactly.
No, I'd buy a car with a heater now.
Well, yeah.
Goodness gracious. Back then I was making bad life decisions like I could get my heater fixed or I could buy a PlayStation. Which is going to give me more long-term joy? The PlayStation. I can
That
have a
does
heater
not-
when I'm dead.
This explains so much.
It does. It's hard to make those not make those life choices now sometimes, to be honest.
Why bring up snow
Because I
in
miss it.
August?
I miss it.
No.
This is
It's
the
like
time when we
Christmas
need
in
snow
July.
the most.
What's the old movie channel? The Hallmark.
Ooh.
They do Christmas in July.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, and
I'm glad July's
it's too
over.
much.
Well, if Candace Cameron had ever come on, we could ask her about that.
Yeah.
One
Candace,
day.
we're still waiting for that phone call
Yeah, that's right.
that we were maybe promised. There's an empty chair for either you or Elijah. One of the two. Candace
We'll
Cameron
take
or Elijah.
either.
Yes. If it's Elijah, it's going to be one heck of a show. I'll tell you that. It'll also be our last one.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Next.
Yep. So,
What's that?
what's the
Snort.
deal with
mean.
politics?
Oh no.
Oh, no. What's going on in your life, Brianna?
Well, I signed up for the Army 10 miler virtual. The virtual.
Virtual. I mean,
Yeah.
how does that work?
Mm-hmm.
Do you really have to run?
Mhm.
Or you can just do it on your computer?
Can you just say that you ran?
You
This is
really
virtual?
could, but I will not do that because I'm a good person. But you have to,
Sure.
so you have to pay. So it'd be silly for you to pay and then not do it.
You have to,
have to
pay, for
pay?
a virtual race?
Yeah, but they send you like the shirt and the items and stuff, and you submit your time.
Does it say virtual 10 miler on it?
I actually don't know. I haven't seen
It
it, yet.
should.
It should say it,
It
though.
should.
But yeah, we have a.
I
we have
shammed Army
yeah.
virtual 10 miler.
No, so we're doing an 8-person team in
All
my
right.
unit, and we're all gonna do it together, but socially distanced.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're all gonna do that.
How is that going to work?
This is like in October, right?
Yes, it's not for a little
Couple
while
months.
longer.
But you got to
Mhm.
train, right?
But we're training for it now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Training to sham?
No, I will actually do it. I don't like doing stuff like that where you just fudge the numbers. No, I will go and do it.
All right. So, what is this virtual running going to look like? How do you virtually run?
Well, you do the time, but just not the race is not happening because of COVID. So you just all will separately run at a place of your choosing. And I'm assuming they want you to upload kind of a running app or some type of tracker.
So you have the route.
the route.
All right.
So
Makes sense.
yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I've never done a virtual run.
I've seen
Before.
ads online where trying to get people to go out, and if you pay them, it's always, money.
Yeah.
But you join this virtual marathon, and then they send
Yeah,
you
I've seen
a
that too.
incredibly dorky looking medal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with that?
Yeah. Well, it's the Army thing, and it looks good.
The
so.
Army 10 miler, how long have they done that?
A long time.
Yeah, it's quite
It's
a
a couple
tradition.
decades.
Quite their
Yeah,
tradition.
it
Even
is.
even when we were in Japan, they were sending folks
Yep,
to
they make a
DC
team.
for the
I tried
10
to make
miler
that team every year.
I never did. I
I
was
did not
smarter
either.
than that.
I was the first runner-up the last year I was there.
Really? Isn't
Yeah, but I
that
didn't get
ironic?
it.
The first runner up.
Yeah, but I did not run because I was a bad part of me was oh, I hope something bad happens. Not bad, but maybe they get in some kind of trouble and then they're not allowed to go, and then
you
I
can
could
do it?
go. But they were good. Look,
But you can always run 10 miles on your own. You
This
don't
is
have to
true.
wait for the Army to give you permission.
this is true. I mean, they're not even giving me permission. I'm just going to do
You're
it.
just doing it.
Yeah.
Just doing it. That's
Yeah.
initiative.
Yes. Yeah.
That's commitment, though. I mean, if she had made the team, she would have got like free swag
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
all that stuff.
Mhm.
Here she's paying for the privilege.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
right. I couldn't get it in real life, so now I'm paying to get it.
That's great. Well, I would have given you a shirt for free. Made something, get a marker out. I runned.
Yeah.
When at one point I got in my head that I wanted to run the Tokyo Marathon. I thought that would be a cool thing to do.
I wanted to do that
And
too.
then I found out how long a marathon was, and I was like, screw that.
26.2.
Good
Yeah.
gravy. What's
I
the
want
point?
to do that.
What is the point?
I want to do it at least once.
Is that like, what is that in kilometers?
It's like
Oh,
a
wow.
million.
70? Oh.
Think of all the people.
It makes more sense kilometers because the miles is like the 0.2.
Think of all the people out there in our history
Mm.
who have given their lives to invent the automobile. Running a marathon is just like giving them the double deuce when you're running by. What about their sacrifice?
No, I don't
Who
think
will
so.
speak for them?
I don't think that's what a marathon does.
It's the same thing about taking stairs. Think of all the people that died inventing an escalator, inventing an elevator. And
I mean,
you take
people
the
die on those.
stairs.
Okay.
Have you no shame, America?
How dare you?
We have fought to be lazy. We have fought to be fat. How dare you? How dare you? And with that, we'll be right back to talk force protection.
All right.
All right. Yeah, Dave's giving the thumbs up, so I guess that's a go at
How
this
dare
station.
you? No, I don't.
How dare,
Whatever.
How dare you do force protection?
how dare we listen to this?
What does resiliency mean to you? For the folks at Fort Hood Resiliency Campus, resiliency is helping folks help themselves. The campus offers a wide range of programs, each aimed at assisting Fort Hood units and individuals in need of morale and team building opportunities. Through programs like the Applied Fitness Center, Military Life Counselors, the Army Wellness Center, Nutrition Clinic, and the Warrior Quest Adventure Program, the Resiliency Campus headquarters is located on the 5th floor of the Shoemaker Center on Darnall Loop. To find out more about what the Fort Hood Resiliency Campus can offer you, look them up on Facebook or give them a call at 254-285-5693.
You know it, don't you? Come on. You're already singing it.
Fort Hood's great big podcast.
When the night has come and the land is dark.
So, Brianna,
Yes. So Charlie.
when last we spoke, you were tired because you had gone down to San Antonio,
I did.
Riverwalk.
Mm-hmm. And I took the slow way back, so I was stopping in like different towns, and
Aren't you
And trying
glad you
things.
got that out of the way then?
I did because I was also in Austin on Monday.
Because the gates have come down.
Yeah, the guillotine.
The guillotine.
Yeah.
Thou shalt not leave.
Yes.
that
They
county.
That
cannot
escalated
go.
quickly. I went from gates to
Oh,
cutting off people's heads. Just
well, we take this seriously.
we do. We hope people
well, we
do.
yeah,
If you're
Always
not,
take this
if you're not
seriously.
taking COVID seriously, you're part of
Yeah.
the problem.
yeah.
That is true.
I saw the comments on Facebook when we announced it.
Oh,
Right.
People, but I wanted to travel. Well, there's a freaking pandemic going on,
yeah.
genius.
There's a global pandemic.
Hello.
I don't get. I feel like a lot of Americans want to pretend like it's just not happening. Or
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on.
yeah.
A lot in general, just about life in general. We'll
Yeah.
just pretend that these events that are are not happening and just
Yeah.
tunnel
We'll
vision.
see how that works out.
hmm
Not so great.
That's why it's good that we discussed the Hatch Act last
Last
week.
Oh,
last week.
So
yeah.
because of all those people,
Yeah.
hey, keep your mouth shut.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not political
No,
to complain about coronavirus.
no. Well, still, as
Well,
the
It's hard to.
as the social media manager, keep your mouth shut.
Yeah. I'm sure you've been dealing with
Actually,
so
it's
much.
not been bad.
Really?
It's not
No.
been bad.
It just looks.
They asked me. They said, "What's the sentiment on the post saying that we're restricting movement? What's the sentiment?" I said, "Whiny,
Whining. Yeah.
whiny."
Exactly.
They said,
Yeah.
that's not.
I'm mildly
We don't have that option in the
inconvenienced.
report. There's no whiny."
Yeah,
But I thought initially I thought of you because you do get out,
I
Brianna.
do.
You go
I do.
around.
I'm an explorer.
Is this going to impact your?
No,
Really?
not really. I mean, there's other places I could go to.
There's so much to do
Yeah,
in
there's
Bell
so
County.
She's
much.
outdoorsy. So
Yeah.
there's plenty of parks and
yeah,
trails.
and it's a low risk activity. So
Mhm. Bell County is a wonderland of activity.
a wonderland. I don't know if I'd use that
They're
adjective.
going to steal that that's going to be their new marketing slogan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
see it
see
in all the
billboard
pamphlets
now, yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderland.
I mean, Bell County is pretty good. It's not. I wouldn't say it's a wonderland, but
Well, think about it. Imagine if we were a post in Rhode Island and got stuck on our county. That would mean
Oh,
like we
my
could
goodness.
move 3 feet to the right,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
move it to the front.
no, it's great that Texas is so vast, and I mean, it's annoying because everything is spread out.
It's huge.
And it's
Texas is
huge.
giant.
But that's the thing is, there's also a lot to do, and even in like the smaller towns, like people wouldn't want to stop in, but there are really great local things you can just try out.
Oh,
and
there's tons of
experience.
stuff.
Yeah,
There's tons of stuff. People get so myopic when they come here.
Yeah.
They're like, Austin.
I have to go to a
Austin.
city to have a good time. It's like, no, you
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Have you not explored the wonderful nightlife of Harker Heights? I mean, really?
the way you said that was just hilarious to me. The
Well,
wonderful nightlife.
Yeah, but all those places are closed right now.
that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. So they all fall
Focusing
in
on the important
Facebook.
things. Yeah.
Make it rain, Charlie. Make
That's
it rain.
right.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Well, speaking of rain, but not really. This month
Yes.
is a special month for the Army, military in general. But let's be honest, every month is, isn't it?
I mean, if every month is special, is it
None of them are special.
special?
But this month, which is, what month is it? August. Oh, it is
August.
August.
It's August.
It's
It's
August.
August.
What were you going to say?
Yeah, I don't know what I was saying. I am just ridiculous.
All right. Well, thank you, Ridiculous. August is the month where we remind people to be vigilant of what's going on around them and the bad guys that are out there. Because even during COVID, there's bad guys out there trying to. This is my Army buzzword that I've been using a lot recently. Bad operators or bad actors.
Bad actors.
Well, when you think about it, travel restriction is protecting the force.
That's true.
yes,
And the guy here that we have as our guest is in charge of force protection.
I know.
Ooh.
He is Fort Hood's Yoda
Wow.
in charge
what
of
an
protecting
honor.
the Force. Yoda, give us some wisdom.
Use the force.
Well, protect it at least.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely protect the force. You're absolutely right. This month is Anti-Awareness Month. We focus this month on, we're always constantly thinking about force protection, but we're focusing more this month on the awareness and the reporting. So we're kind of isolating it to I watch, I salute, see something, say something, and engaging the public in reporting suspicious activity and things like that. And there's a faucet of things that are going on this month. We have banners flying out everywhere. We have the unit anti-terrorism officers issuing out a lot of brochures. We're coordinating with PAO to get the message out to the community.
That's us.
That is
Facebook.
you.
And,
That's why you're here.
This is why we're here.
Charlie got to tell him who he is.
Who
Not
are you?
Yoda.
Yeah.
Who are you?
So I am Dan Spencer. I'm the Chief of Force Protection here on Fort Hood. I've been here about 3 years, and Fort Hood being a power projection platform, it is a interesting job, and it is a challenging job,
Yeah.
but I enjoy it, and it's rewarding. So thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
Well, and we love having you on here. It was great to get you on because when your office contacted us, they said, hey, we want you to amplify this, that, and the other. And I said, hey, why not come on the podcast?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
it's fantastic to have you on. I'm going to give you the heads up, though, Dan. I'm going to keep calling you Yoda.
Okay, all right.
So-
I'll take Yoda. I'll
right.
see if I can use my Yoda voice.
All right?
Go ahead. Yoda. All right,
What-
that needs work.
Hey, no, I'm up for that. If you can do that for the whole
Yeah,
show,
Charlie's in
that's
heaven
fantastic.
right now.
The next on the podcast,
Frank
we'll have
Oz, he
a
is
talking
not.
dog.
Yeah.
The what is important to keep in mind? So, how do you say stay vigilant for this? But what does that mean? Staying vigilant? Because most people, I think, would say, "Well, no, I pay attention to what's going around me."
Right. So stay vigilant, and I'll give you a good example. So I'm coming from Stuttgart, Germany, and one of the things that they say in Germany that every German is a police. And what that means is if you walk through the neighborhood, you'll notice people are leaning out their window, and they're very cognizant of what's going on in the neighborhood, and they will not hesitate to call the Polizei if you seem suspicious. If you're violating, they have the 6 a.m., the 10 p.m. rules and things like that.
Right.
So I use that for an example of how they are constantly vigilant. And we exercise vigilant all the time. We just don't always apply it to force protection. We use vigilance when we're driving. We're constantly looking at our rearview mirror. We're constantly checking this mirror, using our signals and stuff like that. So if we could take that same concept and apply it to force protection, we're just asking that everyone is constantly vigilant in the aspect of just watching, observing your surroundings, whether it be at home, whether it be during your travel in wonderful Bell County, or if it's
a
while
wonderland.
you are here on Fort Hood. So if you notice someone wearing a hoodie in this 100-degree heat, that's suspicious. So we're asking everyone in their vigilance, not only to be vigilant, not only to constantly look around your surroundings and be cognizant of things that are out of the normal, but also to report those things. And when we report those things, either with this iWatch or iSalute or 288 cops, it's not always 100%. There is kind of like when you're going to school and the teacher will say there's no dumb question. There's really no dumb. There's no minor report.
Oh, don't
that
challenge me.
So, but it's not like you're going to call and they're going to say, really? You're calling us for that? Everything, it's aggregated data. If you're making a call and they're able to capture that and someone else makes a call, then those things begin to tie together and we're able to respond to them or at least have the knowledge that they exist. And they are 2 eyes or 4 eyes are better than 2 and except that same concept applies here. So if we're all constantly watching, and no matter how minute it is, we're constantly watching things that just seem abnormal. And there are a lot of things that come through the iSalute and the iWatch, and some of them are acted upon. Some of them will create an action from whether it's DES or someone else, and some of them are just filed to see if they line up with anything else. So that's what we're focusing on, and I think that's a great question that we talk about. What is vigilance? Because sometimes vigilance can, people. We have what's called gray, orange, or yellow, and red thinkers. So we're more of red thinkers because we're always thinking the worst, and we're trying to think of how we can react to. So small things to us as a red thinker, we tend to overreact, not with an action, but we tend to get the ball rolling on what's the worst case scenario. So if everyone were able to provide us everything that they saw, that's better than a surveillance system if we had all of Fort Hood and all of Bell County constantly feeding us. This car just drove by very, very slowly in my neighborhood, and he went by twice. That's good data, and that's the kind of things that we're looking for. And if we were looking for something specific and it tied into that, we would be able to use that information.
Do you ever get any calls about white vans driving around the housing area? Because I've had just about enough of that online.
No, I haven't personally gotten a call about a white van, but there may have been some phone calls about too many phone calls about a white van.
Yeah, I do have a question. So if you see something and you think, hey, that's weird, and you call it in, I think a lot of people might take pause because they're worried about if it's not weird, some guy's going to come up to them later and complain. You know what I mean?
Right.
Is it an anonymous reporting source, or are they like, and your name is, and how do I get in touch with you? And
it's anonymous based on the level. If you said that you think your neighbor is building bombs, then someone's going to want more information.
And you are?
Yeah.
Sure. Right, yeah. And where do you live? But if you're reporting a car driving by, if you're reporting a guy that's walking in the neighborhood too many times, or taking pictures on Fort Hood, and that's one of the common calls we get here. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
We know that our system works when we have people saying, hey, I'm over here by the commissary, and there's a guy out here taking pictures.
Actually, that's happened to us before.
Yeah.
Public affairs.
Yes, here comes
Yeah, I'm
the
sure they
MP.
call
Come rolling up to us.
Who are you again?
We've had a report.
So that goes to show that the system works,
Right.
and that's exactly what we're talking about. And things like that, they're not going to ask a lot of questions. If you just said, I'm in the commissary, the guy is over by churches, but he's got a video camera, he's recording, then they're probably going to put someone in that vicinity, and they're not going to ask you a lot of questions. So, and again, if it's a minute question, and no one's going to tell you that don't call us for stuff like that, or they're not going to say, hey, give us a report, send us a picture of you, we want 30-year background on you, or anything else. But if you have additional information that may help them put the pieces together, and they think that it's of that concern, then they may ask you for some information. So, and you could elect to, depending on, if you said you saw a crime, but you could elect to, hey, listen, I'd rather remain anonymous in this case.
Sure.
Traditionally, August Antiterrorism Month is also where you guys roll out a lot of your training to the troops, right?
This is true.
How has COVID affected that, and how are you guys dealing with it this year?
So we've relied heavily on technology, and we are what we like to call digitally resilient. I saw that in an article.
Hey, sounds good to me.
That should be your new catchphrase instead of bad operator.
Yeah,
Digitally resilient.
Yes, Fort Hood, digitally resilient. So we are relying heavily on MS Teams. Since I want to say early April, maybe early or later April, early May, we started implementing MS Teams into a lot of our conferences.
Yeah, the Army did as a whole. Had a big
did.
push.
Yeah, and
They
the
did,
system,
for sure.
the system got pushed to our iPads, our cell phones, our desktops. So it's a great thing because you can come up anywhere while maintaining the social distancing and communicate and conference with people. So this year we were challenged, and we created 8 rooms. We provide anti-terrorism level 1 training, inside threat training, OPSEC. We have the inside threat from DC this year coming up on an MS Team room, and they'll have an hour block with slides, and up to 200 people can come on to that room in MS Teams and sit in on that training. So
Well, can you take a minute here? Because a lot of our listeners, believe it or not, are not military. Explain what an insider threat is, because this was interesting to me when I joined the military and found out about this. So if you could explain to folks what that means.
Good question. So an inside threat is someone, if you use the analogy, is someone on the inside. So an inside threat is a colleague, a soldier, A DAC civilian, it's someone that's already in the trusted circle.
Sure.
So the inside threat is our concern about the people that are already here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little
So-
counterintelligence.
Yeah,
there.
you might
Yeah.
be passing information on to a different country or someone else. You're a threat from the inside.
Yeah, you are. So, and there's a lot of concerns: the espionage piece, the violence, the active shooter, and if you look at the
Yeah.
statistics of the active shooters here in the past, they have been the inside threat. It wasn't an outside person
Sure.
that was coming in and doing it. It was someone that already had access to the building, to the installation. That was the threat. And there's a lot of signs, and that's what we'll be talking about in the month of August. We'll be focusing on some of those signs. Some of the training that we'll have on MS Teams will talk about indicators and flags. And there's even a little scenario they'll go through to tell you what some of the indicators.
Can you give us a taste of that? Give us some indicators.
So some of your indicators are financial troubles, loneliness. Sometimes it's let me think of some other ones. Got me. So I'm trying to think of some of the inside the indicators.
I think I remember some of it.
Trouble with a marriage, isn't it?
Yeah, like if you're
Maybe
having relationship problems,
Right,
just
exactly.
kind of general unstable home environment. Like I remember if there was one where like if a coworker is like staying late or
Right.
So wait a second.
Always early.
Wait a second.
yeah,
Wait a second. All right. Loneliness,
yeah,
staying late, financial troubles, and home
Staying-
life problems. You've
Yeah.
just described every soldier.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
That's
obviously-
military life for you.
Yeah.
Yep, and those are some of the things. Work environment. If you're in a hostile work environment, etc. Those are the things, and it basically boils down to the issues that some of our soldiers, some of our civilians, some of family members have that kind of go unresolved and they escalate, and then it
Yeah.
creates anger.
Yeah.
And then they start to look into actions.
Sure. Whether it's violence
Right.
or turning
Yeah.
against us in some
Right.
other way.
Yeah. So you said you can report anonymously, correct? Because
Absolutely.
I know a lot of people would be hesitant to report a coworker, like if they'd be worried that it would come back to them, or they would have some kind of reprisal.
Right. And that's one of our major concerns. And even the mandatory training that we have today, it talks a lot about violence in the workplace. And you have the scenario about Bill and he's angry and he's showing all the indicators that we kind of talked about. And typically in the training, it gives you an option of what you want to do. Would you report it? And if the longer that we allow it to go on, the greater danger that we kind of put our other colleagues in. So reporting it is important, but there's that fear there. And so the education that we want to train on is that reporting it kind of you're more helping people than you are hurting that person. If you report it, we're not going to come and say, hey, this person just called, but it'll draw the attention to supervisors and managers to that person, so that we can now apply some of the things for resolution, like counseling, bringing the person in, getting a feel for them. When agencies come in, we've had some reports, and when DES arises, because someone gets angry and they say something, there's certain words are going to trigger people to react. And when DES gets on the scene, you'll find that most times they were just angry. By the time they go over to behavioral specialists or counselor or something, then we've met the objective. And sometimes you can resolve those things. But it's the reporting. It's that reporting that makes the awareness of everyone else. Because if you're in an office that's small like this and there's 4 people, a lot of people can't capture the behavior of one person. So that's why it's important for all of us to, one, know what some of the indicators are, and then two, to have the courage to report it so that we can find some resolution.
And I think it's important for people out there to keep in mind that, yes, being in the military is a very stressful job. Even when you're not deployed somewhere, it is stressful.
It is.
But the Army, or if you're in the Air Force or Navy or Marines, what have you, I don't know about the Coast Guard. We won't mention them. But they offer you facilities, non-judgmental things to help you relieve stress. I know at Camp Zaman, I think, don't quote me on this, don't put me on the record saying this, but I believe Fort Hood also has an area where you can go just to decompress in the Army Wellness Center.
Yeah.
And it's like massage chair. You just got to go there and say, you know what, I'm having a rough day, I need to decompress. All right, have at it. So before it reaches that point, there are options for people. You don't need to turn to the dark side. You don't need to be bad. Go get a massage.
Yeah.
Chill out. Because what we're learning today is we're watching. People are watching.
Yeah.
Everyone's watching. And you're absolutely right. There are a lot of facilities on here, not just going and sitting in the massage chairs, but your gyms. And that's also another piece of the whole puzzle is identifying stress. A lot of people don't believe that they are stressed. If they're not freaking out and their hands are shaking and they're in the midst of a panic attack, to them, they're not under stress. And they don't realize that they actually are under stress. Things like the gym, going to Belton Lake and getting outdoors and enjoying outdoor activities, things to kind of remove you from that. But going out and indulging in alcohol will actually kind of fuel the stress that you already have. So,
the answer is not to cover it up with stuff.
Absolutely.
Don't cover it up.
Address it.
And
So
decompress.
protecting the force at Fort Hood, I mean, it's a small city.
It is.
Big difference from when you were in Stuttgart, which you're in a bigger city, but you're a smaller concern there. And so tell me about the I guess the scope that you guys have to deal with, and you also deal with other organizations as well, right?
Right. We deal with a multitude of agencies, anywhere from JTTF, Joint Terrorism Task Force, FBI, CID, DES, Austin Regional Intel Center, and I name those just to name the behavioral health at Credamcy, Inside Threat for INSCOM that's downstairs. We deal with a lot of those agencies. And Fort Hood, like you said, is huge. But when you're time, physical security, emergency management, or some of the other agencies that we work with, but when you're using those agencies and we're using the See Something, Say Something program, it is vast. And if you look at the blotters, you get a huge number. We got a lot of young sailors, whereas Stuttgart was more of a senior kind of a place with a lot of seniors.
Sure.
So you had a different set of problems in the Stuttgart area, where you have a different set of problems here at Fort Hood.
Sure.
So it's large, and again, it's challenging because of the scope of the information, and then everything is. When we sit at a table, every month we have what's called a threat fusion cell. And at this threat fusion cell, we have all these agencies, and we're sitting here and talking about concerns and the protection of Fort Hood. So despite the fact that it is huge and it's large and it's 400,000 plus people, I think that the system works. The processes that we use here and the force protection conditions that we use, we have a great system here. We have a quick reaction to things that happen here, but it's always a constant challenge. And it's with social media today and the current civil unrest and the pandemic, they just kind of add to the complexity of trying to maintain the force protection.
You know, and I like the fact that you brought up social media. A lot of times now, being that everyone's connected, people see something and their initial response is to post it on social media. I saw this suspicious person. Hey, don't watch out for the suspicious person. But they should be calling. Give those numbers out again.
So 288 COPS. It's easy to remember. Just dial 288 COPS is the quickest and most effective way. If you notice something, it also helps to post it on social media. But we would like that phone call. I Salute. If you have a phone, download the app I Salute or I Watch, and then after you get out of the environment, you can pull over and punch in the data, and the things that we're looking for is license plate numbers, descriptions, location, and things like that. But we too monitor as a whole the threat fusion cells, social media, because you're right. So in Stuttgart, they said the Wives Club knew more things that were happening in Stuttgart. So that would be the ideal place to monitor. That. So monitoring social media, and everything is on phones and YouTube today. So if we could get those same YouTube videos that are reporting these odd things into 288 COP phone calls, it would certainly help us maintain the protection of Fort Hood.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, fantastic. It was great having you here.
Thank you.
Today. That was a lot of really, really good information. I actually feel like this conversation could go on a lot longer. This is a huge topic. So we're going to have you back.
All right.
Sir.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yoda, you're going to have to be back here.
I'll work on my Yoda impersonation.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, we will be back with more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. After this brand new commercial, little PSA. Brand new. You haven't heard this.
Ooh.
That's right. I'm writing checks that I can't keep right now. Checks that I can't pay. All right, here we go. Ready? And listen.
Masks on for safety. Masks on for safety. In the store. You walk in the door. Masks on for safety. Masks on for safety. Day or night. Do what's right.
Look, bad jingles aren't going to stop the coronavirus, but wearing a mask or a face covering can help lower the chance of infection or spread. So do your part and mask up. Or we may just have to keep singing.
Masks on for safety. Masks on for safety. Be a mouth and nose or else you're a poser.
Do what's right. Save a life. Wear a mask.
Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast, saving you from coronavirus since February 20th, 2020.
Coming on strong on a Monday. I feel so low, won't be long till one day when you know, coming on strong.
How's that 10-miler practice going?
Pretty good.
Pretty good?
Actually,
Feeling winded? Feeling winded?
I have the program set out.
Okay.
I have it to start it. Because I'm taking a PT test next week, so I
Don't
can't
you normally
myself.
run? You normally run.
I do normally run.
You're fit and outdoorsy.
But I don't run fast, though. I'm very, slow paced. I don't really push myself.
Maybe that's why you didn't make said team.
Yeah, probably.
But you don't necessarily have to run this fast.
No.
Is it broken up between, so it's a 10-miler and then everybody runs a certain amount and that equals 10?
No, I think you have to do it all at once, kind of like the race.
Yeah.
Like you have to run just 10
miles,
by
right?
yourself.
Yeah.
The next guy also runs 10 miles.
But we're going to do it together, though.
Socially distanced.
Socially distanced.
All right.
Same time.
Moving on. How about that local sports team?
Which one are we talking about?
All of them in baseball. Will it last?
Yeah.
I saw an interesting statistic. Hold on. I'm turning to the internet for statistics. And
about the baseball?
About the baseball.
3 series were postponed this week.
I believe that.
Entire Marlins. Here it is. 1 in 5 Major League Baseball games now postponed with latest positive COVID tests.
20%.
1 in 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's 30 teams, and they have 3 series that are postponed.
Wow.
So
15 series, 3 of them. Yeah, it's 1 in 5.
is this going to ripple into football? And
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
You're already having, like, football players opt out, going, yeah, I'm going to sit out this year.
Wouldn't it be nice to make enough money that you can go, you know what, this year?
Well, you know, I know you don't follow sports that close.
No.
But, like, the Super Bowl winning quarterback, right?
Mhm.
Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs.
Right?
And
Did the Chiefs win?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
If Jacob Caldwell was in the, he'd be jumping up and down because he's a big Kansas City fan. But they paid him $500 million, sign him to a contract extension.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
$500 million.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think Pat Mahomes did?
He said,
Turned around and bought a piece of the Kansas City Royals.
Oh, that's that guy.
Yeah. So he's the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. Still playing. He's only 24 years old. He just bought a piece of the Kansas City Royals.
Well,
with that $500 million.
In Pat's defense, that couldn't have cost much because it is the Royals.
Yeah, but think about it. 24 years old and he's already a Major League Baseball owner.
That's true, but the Royals are the Kmart of baseball teams.
Yeah, they are.
They are.
Yeah, they are one of the. They get good like once every 15 years.
Mm-hmm. It's contractual.
No,
they have to.
They do have good baseball minds. They just don't have any money to pay the players.
I can't. I grew up in Kansas. I get pictures of me very, very young wearing Royals stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then when I was old enough to think for myself,
that's Missouri.
I did. Well, yeah. Don't tell Kansas that.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Kansas is so desperate for professional sports teams that when the Cardinals are doing well, they just adopt them. They drop the Royals like it's hot and hey.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's hilarious.
Broncos.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to football, Kansas is not a good football state.
No, Kansas it's a good wheat state. We got a lot of wheat.
Yeah, well, too much gluten, man.
Yeah, aren't we like trying to cut that out of the diet?
Oh, come on. Let's get real here, folks. Let's get real. Dial yourselves in. Lean into your speaker, headphones or whatever. How do you lean to headphones? Anyway, our forefathers and mothers and what have you were not overweight because of gluten. They did not have health problems because of gluten, and they glutened it up back then. There were gluten parties.
Okay.
Gluten is not the issue.
What is the
Our
issue?
lifestyle is the issue.
Oh, our sedentary lifestyle?
Yes. It's not the wheat. Don't blame the wheat. You blame the wheat because the wheat can't defend itself.
Oh, you mean us just sitting here talking on these microphones and not moving at all? Or typing on a computer terminal is not conducive to a healthy lifestyle?
No.
Oh, go figure.
No, it's not. It's not. You have to get up and go do things. Back then, in order to get anything, you had to do stuff.
Yeah.
But that sure made a lot of sense, didn't it?
Well, I think it's just interesting, like the general, like public reaction to foods and lifestyles and diets. Because I know for a while it was like, Americans were like, no fat, don't have any calories. But now it's just interesting to watch it shift.
Well,
see what's acceptable socially.
If you look at the commonality out there, it is nothing is ever my fault. It's always the things I'm eating. It's always the food's fault.
What's amazing to me nowadays, though, is everybody's allergic to so much stuff that no one was allergic to when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It would be rare, if someone has a peanut allergy or someone has this or that, but rare. Mm-hmm. Now it's like 1 in 3 people can't eat a peanut.
I actually read a study about why they think it's gotten worse.
Yeah.
They think it's because we, like parents, are able to keep their child more protected from bacteria and like the elements in the environment because, we have become more secluded and sedentary and we're not as involved in like the environment and going out. So when you're a baby or a child and you're not exposed to like the outside
you
bacteria,
end up less healthy.
you're less healthy because your body never created the antibodies to resist common things. So that's I mean, it makes sense to me. Like if you don't, like when your body is literally, you know, creating itself and building itself, and if you don't expose yourself to, or if the parent, because really it's not up to the child. I mean, it can be, but you know, the parent dictates where the child goes and what it does. But if it's like the helicopter parenting, or they're just overly protective and they don't let them go out because they don't want them to get sick, it ironically, it makes them more sick and less tolerant.
That's kind of like with COVID when they were talking about the herd immunity.
Yes.
That's exactly what you mean, right?
Yeah, I think when I was a kid, I might be wrong, I'll hear about it if I am, but I think the first solid food I ate was turnip greens.
Really?
I think that was the first thing I ate was greens. I'm probably wrong about that.
Yeah, I couldn't tell.
I'm probably wrong.
You gotta ask your mother.
Yeah, I have no idea.
All right. No, I'm not.
No.
Keep the phone there.
No, but I agree. A lot of people are keeping their kids just holed up. They're overprotective.
Yeah.
Think about even when I was a kid, I'm going out.
Yeah.
Who knows where I went?
Yeah.
Who's know what I?
Yeah.
You know,
what
I
you
had
touched
to be,
and
I had to be back
did.
at a reasonable time, or someone was out hunting for me.
Yeah.
I went on misadventures as a kid that I think today, I mean, it turned parents all shades of blue and green.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Oh, I noticed that with my kids. They didn't leave the house as much as I did. Or
I
had to kind of boot them out every so often. Go, would you go ride your bike or do something?
Yeah. That's a common problem
Get
nowadays.
off the video game.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Or the TV and the.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. They called it a boob tube for a reason. They don't really call it that anymore because there's no tube.
Right.
The boob flat panel just sounds wrong.
The cathode ray tubes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are
Those
so
used to hurt
awesome.
my ears.
What?
I can't be near them.
When you turn it on, that whine?
They make that loud, high pitched ringing. Yeah.
But it should only be when it's on.
No, but like I'll still I'll hear it turn off, but then I'll still like hear like a residual. It's really weird.
Do you need to speak to someone, Brianna?
No.
Okay. Okay.
But I'm glad they don't have those anymore, because then you'd have to like reset it, because the magnetic field would start to go down, and then you press
I think
it.
you just had a bad TV.
Yeah, it's probably cheap.
I still have one.
Yeah.
It's not my main TV.
Yeah.
But as a gamer, a retro gamer, I
play it on a retro TV.
Oh yeah, much to my wife's chagrin.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know,
because they're boxy and take up a lot of
I
space.
used to be Mr. 32-inch tube TV, which those things weigh well over 200 pounds.
Yeah, those were beasts.
But now I'm down to a 10-inch.
Okay.
So it's tiny little Sony.
How much is it? Or how much does it weigh?
Oh, it's a 10-inch TV. So it's just a little
big. Oh, okay.
Little thing, but it's red.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it is.
Sweet.
Yeah, it is.
Use it for like a prop or something.
No, I use it to play video games.
Well, yeah, but like if you want to.
And you're not wearing glasses yet?
No. Well, I
should be.
learned to sit away from the TV although with a 10-inch, you almost have to sit.
Come on. Yeah, I know. I was about to say.
No way.
No, I sit away from it.
That's good for your eyes.
Okay. You know what also is good for your eyes? Listening to the Great Big Podcast, and because you're not, looking at anything.
Yeah.
And so I want to remind everybody out there that we did move to the Fort Hood Broadcast Operations page on Facebook.
Yes, we did.
If you are listening to this, the old page is now dead. Long live the old page. So
we will remember.
Yeah, it's
honor
dead. It's dead.
Well, then how can you long live the old page?
Well, isn't that what they say when somebody dies or something? Long
the
live
legacy.
the king is dead. Long live the king.
Yeah, the legacy, I think.
Its legend will never die.
So legendary.
Yes.
It really lived the legend while
does.
it was alive.
Thanks, Cav Girl.
Wow.
Thanks, Cav Girl.
Legend. Wait for it.
Dairy.
Keep waiting.
Trying to end the show here, Brianna.
Dairy.
Dairy?
You said legend.
Oh, dairy. I thought you were talking
Wait
about
for
things.
it. Wisconsin.
Oh. Oh.
Whatever.
Okay. Well, that's it for this week. Really, it is.
Is it? Are you sure?
Is. Yeah, I don't.
It's the end.
I could ramble some more if you really want.
Yeah.
We could.
Get your running shoes on and hit the road, Jack.
Yeah. So we'll have more fun and excitement next week, kiddos. It'll be great. I guarantee it.
You have fun with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because you won't
You're
be
not
here.
going to be here?
I'm on vacation.
No, Dave is
Oh, my
gone.
goodness. I thought you
We'll be
just went on
Daveless.
vacation.
That was February before COVID.
Oh.
I
We'll
need a
be
week
Daveless.
off.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Where are you going to go?
Nowhere.
Where can you go?
Nowhere.
It's COVID town.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I just don't want to be here.
That's
for
great.
1 week.
That's fair. That's fair. We'll bring out the Dave on a stick.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, we'll have Dave on a stick.
actually,
Yeah. We'll make it more interactive.
you're looking to bring
Pearl?
Pearl back, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Pearl,
The one who
remember her?
tried to
She's a
take
girl.
my seat.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys can like throw daggers at each other.
We'll
Yeah,
see
she
how
doesn't
that
like
goes.
you, you know.
I'll make it interesting.
I know.
Should be fun.
Feel the animosity.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
do this.
tune in for that excitement. Pearl, the Pearl Do Mabe show. Mabe do Pearl. Well, just
Mabe
keep
do
do out of the
Pearl.
middle
Mabe
of
do
that. But we'll have fun and excitement next week, as always. So tune in and thank you for listening to us. Because without you, we are nothing. What? It's true. Without listeners, what are we? Some fools jamming around tonight.
Okay.
All right. So that's it. Turn off your thing. Don't go run or something. Don't be sedentary. Remember to spay and neuter your pets.
Bye.
Bye.
Driving down the road